Time has done little to heal the wounds. The earthquakes that devastated war-ravaged towns and cities in Syria have robbed its people of what little they had left. The challenges ahead involve rebuilding what was destroyed. Hundreds of thousands of people have been made homeless in both government and rebel-held territories, while worsening the displacement crisis in the opposition-controlled Northwest Enclave.
With so many homes destroyed, people are left with no choice but to live in tents. However, the area is already overcrowded with more than 2 million people living in difficult conditions.
The needs are great in a region where 4 million people were dependent on aid before the natural disaster. But aid agencies say help has been slow and inadequate. They blame this partly on the lack of funding, without which the ability to respond will be limited.
We cannot scale to the level of needs, mostly because we lack funding and because also the coordination structures that were responding to Northwest Syria before are based in Turkey, and most of them have been also affected by the earthquake.
Syria was already among the most underfunded humanitarian crises in the world. And so far, less than half of the $400 million requested by the UN to deal with the immediate needs from the disaster has been funded. But it's not the only problem. A coordinated effort is needed in a largely isolated region which lacks the capacity and resources to face its latest catastrophe. All the while, access to northwest Syria depends on a political decision by the Syrian government.
Biggest thing is predictable access. We saw the addition of 2 border crossings for UNAID access was a good start, but the 3-month window that they're operating off of is wholly insufficient to scale the humanitarian response into northwest Syria. Furthermore is the second piece, which is that we need a principled, not a political response.
An unconscionable failure is how some aid workers describe the international response in Syria so far. For those who survived, the recovery from the aftermath of this disaster has yet to start. Zeina, Khodr, Jazeera.